In our first reading today from the book of Revelation, we have a curious image of the sea that's like a floor of glass with fire underneath. Now remember, for ancient peoples, this ocean was a place that was attractive. You want to go swimming in the ocean, but also very destructive. And so that's why in the book of Revelation, for example, when it describes heaven, it says the sea is no more, because it symbolizes this tumultuous chaos of time and what's going to happen in world events and natural disasters and also sin. So in this part of Revelation, in chapter 15, we hear that the sea is like a floor of glass and there's fire underneath it. We can essentially walk on water and not fear what will come our way. It's a great reminder that in our lives, when we are people of faith, Christ is in control. Christ got this. And we are sort of walking on that water, whether we realize it or not, with that heavenly protection to keep us from anything that could come our way. I think that's a great reminder that in the chaos of our world and the chaos of of politics, whatever is going on, especially as we head into Thanksgiving, to be remembered that this is in God's hands. One of my mantras recently that's going to have been playing over and over in my head the last couple months is just be faithful. Just be faithful. Be faithful in the little stuff, the stuff that nobody sees. And in doing so, we will realize that we are walking on water, that Christ is with us, helping us along the way. I love this image of the saint we celebrate today, Saint Blessed Miguel Pro. He lived at the beginning of the last century during the time of the Mexican Civil War. He was a priest. He was actually studying in seminary in Rome and was a Jesuit, studying to become part of the Jesuits. He joined the Jesuits, went back to Mexico, knowing that it was a very tumultuous time for the church and in which the church was being persecuted. There's a movement to close churches, to close Catholic schools, to round up religious and priests, and to squash the faith. But he went back, he proclaimed the good news, he lived as a priest, he even did it in a hidden way, going from house to house, disguised in different costumes so that the authorities wouldn't know that he was a priest. And so he went from house to house, celebrating Mass, kind of walking on that sea of glass, knowing that that Christ had this, and he was just going to be faithful. Well, eventually he was found by the authorities, and it was decided that he would be executed, and this would be photographed, and he would be used as an example for others. And so as he was preparing to go before the firing squad, and as the cameras were there and everybody was watching, he stretched out his hands and said, "Viva Cristo Rey! Long live Christ the King." And then he was executed. And what would have seemed like the end of the story, and what was used as a ploy to squash the Catholic faith, instead became a rallying cry. People rose up, and this became the great rallying cry, "Viva Cristo Rey," so that even if today I would yell at our congregation, "Viva Cristo Rey," everybody would yell out, "Que viva, may he live." It's a reminder that, yes, life isn't always planned out the way we want, but if we are faithful in the small stuff, that we will get to see heaven, that we will get to see that sea of glass, and that Christ is with us all along the way, and not letting the fires of this world disturb our mind or the peace of our hearts.